in Google Hangouts.
But
I am here.
You are. This is what I got done yesterday. It wasn't that much. It was like a line and a half.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I figured out that whole stringy business because that was a mess.
What do you mean? Why isn't my thing fitting together?
Oh no. Is it facing the right way?
Probably not. Oh well, I got it to work. What do you mean? The like tying the string or
the tying? You know how when we thread the needle, we usually take the string and we line it up at both ends and then tie a knot? Well, apparently we're not supposed to do that. We're just supposed to tie a single knot at the end instead of having it doubled, because instead of technically using 3 strands, because we're doubling it up, we've been using 6 strands. And that's why it's so thick.
Casually doing everything wrong.
I mean, it didn't tell us to not do that in the instructions.
I mean, is it really our fault?
It's really not our fault. The instructions were not clear.
Yeah, so that's all I've done so far. And then this is just the marking to do the rest of the light blue.
Oh, so, you went in with the pencil?
Yeah, because that seems to be the only way I can figure out what the heck I'm supposed to. So,
I mean, they make it not that easy to see.
Yeah, so, and I think after like a while of staring at the X's look like one thing.
Yeah.
So same. At the very least, it's helpful in that sense.
I guess it's going to be interesting when we attempt counted cross stitch, because we won't even have to worry about the sea of X's.
Yeah, we'll just have to try to figure it out on our own.
I mean, it's worked great so far.
I mean, true.
Like, we've stumbled, but we've like figured things out. We've Googled and we've looked into things and like found solutions.
I think the greatest thing that we haven't messed up for too long before figuring out that we've messed up.
That's true. Like, imagine if we went through like half the thing of just with 6 strands the whole time, and we're like, wow, why does this look like not good?
Oh my gosh. Also, how come we ran out of string? If we started just using it all, like, I imagine we might run out of like a couple of colors just because we've been dumb a little bit, but
I mean, at least I think it's the DMC thread, so if we did, all we'd have to do is like look up what thread.
Yeah, what color it was, and then that's hopeful.
Yeah. And I think technically if you write 2 dimensions and are like, hey, I was a dumbass and I ran out of thread, can you send me some more? I think they will send you more.
That would be delightful.
It would, because I mean, for one, this kit was not cheap. So, like, I mean, it's not the most expensive.
Oh, definitely not. But still, I know what you mean. Like
for us little babies who don't know what we're doing. This was a flight risk,
Mm-hmm.
but you know.
I think we're doing okay. This is great. Okay. Oh man, I'm so excited to be like done this watering can. I say as I am not even a little bit done.
Me too, because I'm like, wow, by the time we finish this watering can, we're gonna have like mastered how to do the other watering cans.
Mm-hmm. Well, the other ones have butterflies and shit all over too, so
Oh, true.
I just might save those ones for the last thing I do.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what I'm excited for, and I don't know why? I'm excited for the birds.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I am, but I'm also like, ooh, we have to learn how to do a slip for that. And I don't know how to do that yet.
Yeah. I mean, we're really good at making accidental knots. So maybe we'll be really good at doing it on purpose.
We only have to do 3, so it's okay.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
We will do as we always do.
Yeah. We'll wing it.
Hope and pray.
So true. The heck I don't know what I'm doing. As per usual.
As per usual, we don't know what we're doing.
We're just seeing how it goes.
We are improvising. We are method actors. We learn by doing and failing.
It's true.
3,000 times.
Okay.
Eventually, this will go through.
Oh, are you still trying to thread your needle?
Yeah.
Rough.
Because, like, I'll get one of the threads in, you know, but then I need all 3 of them to be in, and they're all, like, being little
Oh, no.
rebellious little threads. And I'm like, you know, I'm trying to make art here.
Have some respect.
Honestly.
Oh.
Don't be like the Game of Thrones fandom right now. Have some respect.
Is shit popping off?
Man, I finally had to mute that tweet that I made about how ridiculous everybody was being about that petition, because like it started off having a good life, like it did, and then the people that were like for the competition, the petitions found it. And I was like, you guys really don't know like what goes into making a show, do you? Because like, if you think you're gonna make a petition and then the actors are just gonna like be okay, like, yes, we'll do a redo, that's
highly unlikely.
Not how life works. Though pretty sure Nikolai Castor Waldo would be down as long as Jamie didn't act like an idiot.
Yeah.
But
we all know how that ends up.
Yeah, but he acted like an idiot, so there's that.
At this point, I just don't know, like, how they would rewrite it to make it different.
Right?
Like, yes, it's not ideal, but, like, how is it supposed to be any different? It's already burned into our skulls anyway.
Yeah, and I mean, Danny already burned down the Red Keep, so
Exactly.
it's already too late. She burned everybody to a crisp.
Mm-hmm.
So,
what more could they do?
King's Landing lives matter.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Do you know the dumbest the dumbest argument I've heard for that is the people of King's Landing deserve to be burned alive because they were the same people that cheered at Ned's execution.
I mean, did it full circle if that's the case?
It did, but I'm like, are you really using that as an excuse for Danny to burn people alive? Because that's not a very good excuse if that's what you're choosing to do.
Ned Stark fans are still salty.
Ned Stark fans are still convinced that he's going to come in at the end as a pigeon.
How would we know it's Ned Stark if he came in as a pigeon?
It would be the greatest Easter egg of all time.
I mean, true, but what? Is it supposed to be a pigeon with his head or something?
We'll watch him transform.
True. I mean, I'd be down for that kind of ending.
Me too. God, there were so many people that were so upset that the Bran was the Night King all the time theory was incorrect.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Oh, that was a thing because people kept saying that the actor that played the Night King looked like Isaac Hempstead, right? And I mean, I don't see that, and Isaac also doesn't see it. He's been very vocal about his distaste of that theory for years. He's like, I don't know where that came from, but I hate it. It is literally the worst theory I have ever heard in my life.
I mean, he's not wrong.
Man, love Isaac, but man,
Also hate Isaac.
Bran can go fall in a ditch.
Oh, you're so sad about that.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'll never not be mad at it.
Yeah, I get it. But oh.
But still... also I do kind of get what he's saying because Bran isn't really a human anymore. So he doesn't have emotions. But I'm really, dude, you can come up with a better excuse than that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or
at least stand by what you say, that he's a good man or whatever. I know Sean made bad choices. I, for one, was definitely a person who was F that guy.
yeah.
But to just be oh, he just basically said it for no reason is kind of, it's bad.
He did it because he was oh, I sent Theon to his death because I needed to buy more time for Arya. And I'm yikes.
Yeah. It's rough.
I'm gonna make a shirt on Redbubble that says "Fuck Bran, Theon deserved better."
That's funny. You can wear it to your meet and greet with Theon.
I can.
When is that, by the way?
November 2nd.
Oh, so that's still a while away.
Yeah, but it gives Shan and I something to look forward to in all the misery.
Yeah. Is Sharon coming over to watch the finale?
I think so. It all depends on if she can get somebody to cover her shift at work. She's trying, but like everybody kind of like isn't very reliable when they say that they're going to cover for her.
Oh, that sucks.
So, and I mean, the way that her job is, she can't just not,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
she can't just say fuck it and not show up for work.
Yeah. Well, hopefully she does. Like she gets
Yeah,
someone to take it, I mean.
I hope so, because that would be cool.
Very cool. Are you ready for the finale?
As ready as I ever will be, I think, because like, I mean, whatever happens, and like nothing, like whether we like the way that things turn out or not, like it's already been filmed. So
Yeah.
I'm just hoping that like whatever ending comes about, it makes sense and it feels worth it.
Mm-hmm. Like it feels like true, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I feel too.
Kind of hoping that Braun never gets a castle.
I mean, same, but he doesn't deserve one at this point.
Yeah. So, do you think that since we didn't see any bodies, do you think there's a possibility that Jamie or Cersei are alive?
Honestly, I don't know. I think it's highly unlikely, but I also think that um historically speaking in Game of Thrones, if you don't see someone dead, dead.
Yeah.
So because the final scene basically was just the rubble falling on them, I think that like find out within the first few minutes whether they're dead or not.
Yeah.
Because there has to be some sort of symbolism if they are or are not.
Yeah.
Because they're halfway through, like, surprise, surprise, the red keep falling on our heads didn't kill us.
The plot armor saved us. Just like it saved Arya at the end of season 6.
I mean,
When she got stabbed in the guts and it didn't hurt at all.
yeah, she was still like running around, like, I'm fine.
Yeah. And then that actress lady stitched her up because apparently actress lady used to beat all her boyfriends and felt bad about it.
I mean, can relate. Just kidding. But yeah, honestly, like, as excited for the ending as I am also just excited to not necessarily have it be done, but be able, like, have it be this whole full thing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And then, like, if we watch it again and you're able to, like, see things or have a different take or all that stuff, knowing what's coming. Because, like, from what I understand, like, there is a lot of foreshadowing throughout the seasons. right? So
Yeah.
maybe not even the first seasons, but like recent seasons. So it'll be interesting to like see that, because I think one of my favorite things to do after watching an episode is like one of those like and things you missed in episode 3, you know?
Yeah.
Because things happen so fast, and like I don't know, my memory isn't always the greatest. So like when it's like a callback to a different scene or something like that, it adds like a level, just a level to the show that I think I really appreciate. So like thanks to those people who make those videos for people like me. But yeah, I don't know. I for it to be more. I want it. I don't even know what I want from it. I think I kind of want to just go into it and like just like accept whatever happens.
Yeah. Because I mean, it's gonna it's gonna be an interesting start, you know,
Mm-hmm.
because like I bet, I mean, if I were to do this and I wanted to really parallel the first episode and the last episode, I would do a cold opening.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Do you know what a
Yeah.
cold opening is?
I kind of remember the first scene or the first episode, which is like where um you can explain it because I'm not going to explain it well.
Yeah. A cold opening is basically when like it gives you a scene before the opening credits.
Yeah.
And they did that in the first episode with that whole like Night's Watch
Oh, yeah,
thingy.
yeah, yeah.
So I think if I were to do that, I would open it with like Danny walking down to the Red Keep with like her armies or something.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, the White Walkers are dead, despite some theories that people are convinced that the Night King is not dead and that he's gonna pop up in the last episode. And I'm like, y'all need to chill.
There's literally no way.
Yeah.
I think what's going to be the most um, interesting for me, I think, is hold on, I'm very confused as to where.
Oh no.
No, I figured out where I am.
Okay.
Like, is how we're supposed to see Sansa or anyone from Winterfell again.
Mm,
Because, of course, most of the episode has to take place in King's Landing.
yeah.
And how does it tie in um, to Winterfell in a
Mm.
way where we can see what's going on there?
Do you think that maybe Sansa will show up in King's Landing?
I mean, I would be surprised if she didn't,
Yeah.
because I think that that is the way it makes the most sense.
I mean, I'm entirely convinced that she has Littlefinger's fast travel machine hidden under her bed.
Yeah.
So I think it's totally plausible that she shows up.
Yeah.
Or
But
like
like,
maybe she gets called for a meeting or something. Like maybe Tyrion or Jon writes her in a panic and is like, "Oh my god, Dany has lost her mind. You were right as usual and we didn't listen."
frick. Imagine.
Or maybe Bran foresaw that happening and was like, "Sansa, listen, bitch,
You
we
gotta
gotta go to
go.
King's Landing."
Yeah. I imagine it would be more of that than um
Then Sansa having a fast travel machine hidden under her bed.
yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know, because like obviously like sense if she showed up, especially to be like, guys, I fucking told you again. But like, I just like, I am feeling, and I have been feeling very torn about how to feel for Tyrion right now. Because not only, like, okay, he tried very hard with his brother and sister. When the bells rang, he thought he did.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But nope. Also, you know, Daenerys has been like but like her and all this, and she just went completely off the rails, and he told on Varys.
Yeah.
And Varys's last words to him were, "I hope I'm wrong." And he was not wrong. And his queen just fucking destroyed his home, the place that he, you know, lived before he went to her.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, I don't know how to feel towards Tyrion, as my heart hurts for him, but
Yeah.
also he's a fucking dumbass and he killed Varys.
Yeah, I feel like he almost did that though for his own self-preservation. As terrible as that sounds, like Tyrion has always kind of looked out for his own best interests.
Yeah.
And if like he's always said I would never bet against my family. So like if it came down to choosing Varys over Jaime or Cersei, I can see why he would make that decision. I know I said a little while back that I thought he was going to get roasted. But that all depends on if Dany lives long enough to roast him, which I don't know if she will.
Yeah, but at this point, I think his roastability depends on if they find Cersei and Jaime, because if they didn't find them, he would assume still that they got away, right? Therefore, he would be roastable.
Yeah.
But if they're still there, dead in the rubble, or not even dead, but they're found, he didn't succeed, which means he's no longer roastable.
That's true. And I mean, I don't think Davos would rat him out.
No, me either.
Because
I
he's a
think,
good onion knight.
yeah, and Davos has never really betrayed anybody. I mean,
Yeah.
you could say he betrayed Stannis, but I think really he was right in that too. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I mean, like, this is at least how I interpret the whole like Stannis Davos thing, but I think that Stannis intentionally sent Davos away because he was gonna burn Shireen, and Davos loved Shireen to pieces and would never let that happen. So Stannis needed an excuse to get rid of him.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I think you're right on that one. To be honest.
Which is sad, because Davos is sad.
Yeah. Every like one he's ever loved has just been like killed.
Yeah. I mean, he couldn't even keep his own fingers. So, like, you know, they were just like cut up.
Yeah. Yeah. But like, I don't know. That part was like kind of weird to me. Like he betrayed Stannis, right? So then Stannis cut off his fingers or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, okay. Like, I mean, I guess it's better than losing your life, but
Yeah. I mean, at least he wasn't burned alive.
yeah.
Like 90% of King's Landing.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's like really fixating on the fact that Danny burned children. And I mean, don't get me wrong. It's like horrifying the fact that like what she did was terrible. And I'm not saying that I approve of her actions, but I'm wondering about her abilities to like actually see what was going on the ground. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think she intentionally burned civilians and children. I think she saw some Lannister soldiers, was really pissed, and roasted some Lannister soldiers. And unfortunately, innocent people got, you know, entangled in the crossfire. And that's, you know, unfortunate, but like, it's also war. And even if she didn't, you know, go in and do that thing, that was what Cersei was baiting her to do anyway. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a tough one because I think that she knew they were there,
Mm,
whether um she was doing it or not. And I don't know. I think she fell for the trap to burn everything down. And I think that it was of um a lot of different things, you know. Her and John's conversation where she said, I guess it's fear then,
yeah,
right? I think that when the bells rang and she realized that in her mind Cersei was surrendering after everything that went on, I think she couldn't keep her composure
yeah,
and she fell for, you know, the trap, if that's what we call it.
yeah,
And so now she can't rule by being peaceful because she has all of this damage that she created. So at the very least, she might be dead, but Daenerys' job isn't easy.
yeah.
So I don't know that she, you know, it was totally intentional, but I do think that like she knew they were there
Mm,
because she didn't just stop where the soldiers were. She was
that's
just going back and forth, back and forth.
that's true.
As she got closer to the Red Keep, she got more and more upset.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, maybe this isn't like entirely correct, but it comforts me to think that all that inbreeding and all that incest just made Danny's eyesight ridiculously bad.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see in this episode what to make of it. But yeah, I don't know. I am really hyped about it, but I'm also really nervous.
Me too. I'm still shocked that people are like, this is all Sansa's fault.
Fuck that idea. Because it would have happened regardless of what Sansa said.
She
The only thing
breathed.
that wouldn't have happened is Varys might not have died the way he did.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that wouldn't have happened. But everything else would have happened. And I don't think it's fair to say that um, the fact that Danny's like whole entourage or whatever knows about John's heritage. I don't think that's fair enough to say that that's the reason why everything is like shit's hitting the fan,
Yeah.
because like I think everything that she's done and everyone that she's been and everybody that has hurt her or has been hurt by her and all of her decisions and all of her heritage, I think all of that just kind of caught up to her in probably the worst moment possible for it to catch up to her.
Yeah.
But you know, she wanted to be all of this, positive stuff. She wanted to be the person who broke the wheel of power.
Yeah.
And she threw a tantrum when John wouldn't bang her.
Yeah.
Like, I get it, she's young, but the breaker. Go ahead.
Breaker of chains, and John was the breaker of incest.
I mean, true. And the thing is like, I feel like as much as she's like a strong, powerful, whatever you want to call her, people who still are like loving on her, she is young and she is inexperienced.
Mhm.
And like what we talked about before, everyone in Marine, like the Unsullied and all of the Dothraki, they submitted to her because she was the better option when there was no other option.
Yeah.
And the second she got any sort of backlash about that, she burned down a whole friggin' city.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't necessarily want to just buy into the, like, crazy Targaryen stereotype.
Yeah.
Because I think it's a lot more than that. I think she's young. She has a dragon at her expense. 2 of her dragons died for this cause,
Yeah.
And she was fighting against a grown woman with a lot of experience.
Yeah.
And she had too much to prove to let it happen nicely.
Yeah. And I mean, like, even with the Dothrak, like, the thing is that, like, whether we like Drogo and that marriage thing or not, this is what Drogo taught her.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is all she has ever known. You answer violence with violence, you shed blood with more blood. If you have a weapon, you use it. And she had 3 dragons, and
Mm-hmm.
she used them sometimes for the betterment of people, because without her dragons, she wouldn't have been able to free the Unsullied.
Mm-hmm.
But then there were times where it was kind of controversial, like when she completely snapped in season 6 because 2 of her allies just got taken out by the Lannisters, and she went in and she, took Drogon and she burned resources and people and the Tarleys, which people can argue with me night and day till the cows come home. But I still think that she was not justified in burning the Tarleys to death.
Not for something as simple as not bending the knee.
Yeah.
In a moment where everything that they had was just like destroyed.
Yeah.
No, I am with you on that one. I don't think that was justified, and I think that the best thing that could have happened from that is her having to tell Sam. I think that gave her a little bit of an idea, but it wasn't necessarily enough because she didn't change.
Yeah. And I think one of the things that people are not taking into account is that not all character arcs are going to have like this, very happy go lucky ending. Sometimes character arcs are people that start out with good intentions and then they lose something. Like, the best example of this is the downfall of Anakin Skywalker and him becoming Darth Vader. We all knew that that was going to happen. We just didn't know the how. And just because it's a negative arc doesn't mean that their arc was ruined
Or wasted.
or that she isn't a strong woman, or that Dan and Dave just did this because they hate women.
Oh my
No.
God.
That's not what happened, okay?
Oh, you're speaking my language, Britt. That's how I feel too. That's how I feel too. Don't worry.
Yeah, because like that's the most like frustrating thing about it. And I'm like, it's not just girls saying this stuff too. It's like guys that are like also saying that, like Dan and Dave just did this because they hate women. And I'm just like, "Mm, you say you stan this woman, but I really doubt that because I don't think you really understand her character."
Mhm. No, I feel the same way about that.
It's like the same kind of thing because for this whole time I was not arguing, but like I had so many fans of John trying to tell me that he was going to reject his entire Stark identity and completely disregard the fact that he was a Stark of Winterfell the whole time and just embrace his Targaryen heritage, and he would start going by Aegon Targaryen, and I'm like,
I
my
think
thoughts
not.
exactly.
I think not.
Because, I mean, the whole, like, thing about Jon is that whether or not Ned is his biological father, because, I mean, we know that Ned is not his biological father, Ned still raised him and he still wanted to do the honorable thing and live his life as, he thought that Ned would, and that he wanted to make, his father proud, regardless of if he was a bastard or a legitimate Stark or a
Mhm.
Targaryen.
And I think it's a nice like contrast
Yeah.
to Theon, who
Hmm.
was raised by Starks, yes, but was taken from his parentage.
Hmm.
So his as much as he was raised by the Starks, and it's expected that that honor is instilled in him, his own father is still alive and well and doesn't want him.
Yeah.
So he would do anything to like get that back, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Because, I mean, that doesn't negate that, like, what Theon did wasn't bad, because, I mean, it was. I'm not that crazy cuckoo bananas. And I'm not going to make, like, not legitimate excuses for him, but it was a complicated situation. And even before he left, he told Rob, your father raised me to be an honorable man, and that's what I'm going to try to do. And it's if he went with the intention of betraying Rob, it would be different.
Yeah, but it just happened because when he got home, his father was like, "Who the hell are you?"
Yeah, like,
It
because
wasn't the welcome he expected, so
Mhm.
he had to change what he was willing to do,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's totally understandable, but it is a nice, contrast to Theon because, when faced with that sort of identity crisis, Jon and I think it's because Jon doesn't have, like, a parent, right?
Yeah.
So he's really only answering to people's expectations of him,
Yeah.
which is really only Daenerys's expectations of him.
Yeah.
So that's why it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
But I would never see Jon doing that because for this whole time he's been saying that he doesn't want the throne.
Yeah.
even if Daenerys isn't the right person, he still doesn't want it.
Yeah. Because poor John has been forced into being a leader all his life. And he's like, man, every time I think I've gotten out of this shit, something finds a way to like throw me back in. And he's like, no more.
Please stop.
Please. I was reborn for this? Are you kidding me?
Oh, I mean, but I don't know. I think that if anything, the last episode really allowed for the actual like acting of the characters to shine through.
Yeah.
Like I think Maisie did a great job. I think John and Tyrion both did really great jobs showing the literal like despair.
Yeah.
And like showing what that actually felt like instead of just like, because I think a lot was conveyed without words in that episode.
Oh, yeah.
And that I think is like way more valuable than have, like, you know, dialogue.
Yeah.
So I think that they all did a really, really great job.
And a lot of the time, like in the heat of battle, you don't have a lot of time to say things. And I think one of my favorite parts of the episode, and I mean, just because it was kind of nice to see, not because I agree with it morally, but it was nice to kind of see the Stark soldiers, you know, like we've always seen the Stark soldiers as like the good guys, you know? And then as soon as those bells start ringing and Grey Worm throws that spear, they completely lose it and they start attacking innocent people, and they start like there was that one scene where that soldier like tried to rape that woman, and John stepped in at the right time and stopped it real quick because he wasn't down with that.
Yeah, I think it was nice to see that though the Stark people are, or even like the Winterfell people are generally seen as peaceful. Like they're not immune to like the horror and the sort of impulses, I guess you could say,
Yeah.
that war brings. And just like being in, like, you know, I think we can all like all have a sort of experience where you're in a certain place and mentality kind of just takes over you without really thinking, right? So
Yeah.
and you know, they traveled all that way for a great battle and then it wasn't really going to happen.
Yeah.
So when we were able to get a taste of it, I mean, I'm not surprised that happened.
It was almost like a reverse Battle of the Bastards.
Yeah.
Because, like, they were like Team John, but now, like, now everybody's like, oh, this is chaos. I guess we're going on a murder rampage now.
Yeah. It was really weird to like see John like trying to stop everybody and then like it was just too much.
Yeah.
Like I guess weird is the wrong like word to use there, but like, you know, in a time when for the most part they listened to him,
Yeah.
like it was just too much for him to even control.
Yeah.
And like I feel like that was like a very important moment for him as well, you know.
Yeah. And it was kind of cool to see that one Lannister guard trying to get like the people out, like shoving as many people as he could like out of the fire, and then that one Stark soldier comes in and just like stabs him in the chest.
Mm-hmm.
Like, cuz I mean, like, we're not supposed to root for like the Lannisters or the Lannister soldiers, but like it just goes to show you that like some situations aren't all that black and white, and it's not always like good versus evil. It's what you choose to do at
And
the time that
yeah,
makes the biggest difference.
definitely. And I think that like the same thing with Arya, right? Where she went in that little house and
Mm-hmm.
she said, if you stay here, you're gonna die. And then they came out with and they ended up dying anyway.
Yeah.
Right? So she thought she was saving them. But I think what really like makes a very big difference is that we don't know what happened at that particular house. So we don't
Yeah.
know if they'd be here,
Yeah.
you know, having stayed there or anything. But like Arya tried so hard to do something good,
Yeah.
and like and it's the same sort of thing, right? Like where you Arya and you want and you want everything to work out, but you know, even with the best intentions, it's not always what you want, and it's not always, you know, how it ends up.
Yeah.
And it was really hard to watch, but I also think that like that's a very important message
Yeah.
within it, because these are characters that we rooted for from day one, right?
Yeah.
Like you said, they're the good guys, but they aren't always good if you were just to take their decisions like a little paper, I guess you said.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm saying anymore, but I think that like it was really refreshing to watch this episode where even the best intentions weren't always rewarded,
Yeah.
because it felt more like an authentic Game of Thrones episode that way.
Yeah. Agree. Completely. And it was really nice to see Arya choose life for
Yeah,
once. Like she's been so consumed with this idea of death and like being a like super assassin murderer for like the faceless men.
yeah,
And it was kind of nice, like we saw a little glimpse of it at the Battle of Winterfell, I think, but like it was nice to see her vulnerable,
mm,
because I feel like we haven't really seen that up until this season, and it kind of, you know,
yeah.
like
I think
she's a traumatized little girl, and
yeah, definitely. And I think you're right, because like her entire arc and her entire focus has been like, you know, killing people on her list and learning how to kill the people on her list, and you know, avenging her father and avenging like her mother and Rob and all of that, right?
yeah,
That like now she's pretty much avenging. She just has to kind of, you know, she's not done avenging because she's supposed to kill Daenerys, but
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like in this moment, and it wouldn't have been the Hound, I don't think,
yeah,
without what he said to her about like get out of here or you'll die just like me. Like
yeah,
I don't think it happened without him. But at the same time,
yeah,
so much is on her shoulders, right?
yeah,
She in the Battle of Winterfell and in this sort of battle, like she's just a little girl.
yeah.
And, you know, she's all about fighting and stuff, but the second she gets hit in the head and she gets hurt, I think reality, like, hits her a little bit. And she's like,
Yeah.
shit, like, this is really, like, a life. It's
Yeah.
not, like, just a play fight with whoever. It's not, you know? And I think that she's constantly reminded of that. And I think that that's, like, something that is good to show
Yeah.
within it, like, even if it's not, like, you know, written out, like, you can take those sort of signs. That's what they mean. But
Yeah. I know what
yeah,
you mean, I think.
I've come so far. I used to hate Arya, and now I understand her mood.
There was once a time where little immature me really detested Catelyn Stark.
Ooh.
And I mean, I was like a 19-year-old little bitch. You didn't understand anything about like character development or like, you know, like I didn't try to see the reasons why she could possibly behave like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I met Devin and he was like, no offense, but I don't think you're fully comprehending that situation, Britt. And I was like, what do you know, Devin? And he was like, well, did you ever stop and think about it from her perspective? Like, the fact that she was married to the most honorable man in the North and he had that reputation, and all of a sudden he comes home from a war with somebody else's baby, and they had just been married a few weeks before he left. And imagine how embarrassing that must have been for her as the
Mm-hmm.
wife of Ned Stark. And I was like, ooh, that's true. I never thought about it like that before.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Well, I mean, thank you, Devin, for showing me the light.
Yeah, really.
I doubt he'll ever see this, but thank you to him. Props to him. Applause all around. But I understand what you mean. And I think mostly I didn't really like Arya because I have a hard time liking children
Mm,
in shows that I watch. Like, you know how, like, I was talking to you about the Fosters or whatever. I
yeah.
really only like the two parental figures in that show. I
Mm,
hate all of the children because as much as I, excuse you, cat, as much as I can try to sympathize or empathize, I just find that it's a lot easier for writers to justify children acting horribly. So I don't like it when children act horribly. And then
yeah.
it's just like played off or forgotten about or whatever. Like, I understand. I was a child once. Which is probably why I don't like children in shows, you know?
Yeah,
Because like been there, done that, don't need to be reminded of it.
exactly.
So I think mostly that's why I didn't like her. And I mean, I guess you could go so far as to say that's why I didn't like Bran either, because he's just a little shit kid and he got himself in trouble, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I understand now the reasoning behind all of that, but in it, I was just like, no thanks.
Yeah. And I mean, it's also easy to forget, like, especially since they did age them up in the show by a few years a little bit. But like the actors and actresses playing these characters are ridiculously young. Like when we first meet John and Rob and Theon. Rob and John are only 14 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And Theon is 19 in the first book, I want to say. So he's quite a bit older than Rob, but Rob is a bit more mature
Yeah.
than Theon is. Let's just say
Mm-hmm.
he's a bit of a ladies' man.
We see that coming.
Well, Ramsay took care of that, so it's fine.
True. True.
But like, it's so sad that like that had to be the lesson for Theon. And you haven't finished the first book, right?
No.
Okay.
I am like a third of the through. Very far at all.
I think the first time we get a Theon point of view chapter, it's in the third book, I think. But like, and I think the show kind of attempted to explain this with the made up Roz character, but like, I don't necessarily know if it came across the way that they wanted it to. But like, like Theon being, a whore.
Boy.
Like the only really thing, like that was like really the only thing he felt like he had control of in his life. And even then, he wasn't supposed to be, doing that. Because Ned was like, listen, you can't be doing that. You don't bring those girls into my house and do those things. You don't do that. And he was like, oh, well, fuck you, Dad. I'm gonna be a rebel and I'm gonna sneak them in anyway. But like, I don't know, like it's sad because he just wanted to be loved by somebody, and then he went home and his dad wasn't proud of him, and his sister made fun of him, and they made fun of his clothes, and it wasn't what he expected.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. And it is sad for Theon, but I don't know. Like, I think that is like probably the saddest thing is that he thought he would go home to a warm welcome, and that wasn't the case.
Because, I mean, he even says it. He's like, listen, like, I didn't choose to go to Winterfell. Like, that choice was made for me. Don't hold that against me because I didn't, I didn't choose that. And I choose to come home because my friend needs help. And Balon, gets all up in his face and is like, don't you dare call him a brother. Not in my house.
Yeah, and it's like that's like a really hard thing to navigate, right? Because like on one hand, he grew up this whole life, well, since he was 7, right?
9, I think, was his.
Okay, so he's 9 with these boys in this family, and he was treated like, in as many cases as he could be, treated like a star despite not being a star.
Yeah.
And then he was, at the drop of a hat was expected to not think of them like that. And it was betrayal to think of them like that. And I think that sucks for him.
I mean, Balon even says, like, Ned Stark had you longer than I had you.
Mm-hmm.
And like the first thing out of Balon's mouth isn't, "Hey son, how are you doing? I haven't seen you in a billion years. How you keeping up?" He's like, "How do you feel that this man that you probably think of as a father is dead? How do you feel about that? Also, you just accidentally almost banged your sister. Good job."
Yikes.
So,
For me, that was probably like the funniest moment because I was like, "Oh, that's your sister. I didn't even know."
at least he was as disgusted with himself as we were.
Very true. Very true. Cool. Okay, so I finished up.
Ooh,
Yeah, so it looks
that
real
looks so
cute.
good.
Yeah, the stitches actually like started to look really good near the top. So
Yeah,
I
you're getting
almost
the hang of it.
don't want to stop, but I don't want to start anything and not like finish it.
Yeah,
And I don't know like when you're gonna have to go have dinner. So
that's true.
yeah,
I mean, I could eat dinner anytime, so like I'm in no rush.
are you sure?
Yeah,
Then I'll just keep going.
okay.
How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Oh no, I skipped over a stitch.
Oh, that's not good.
Oops.
Distracting you.
1, 2, 3. Look. That's okay. It was just a stitch that I could go one below. It's no big.
Okay.
N B B.
um,
Because you are kind of right. Like, after you stare at it for a while, they do kind of blur together.
yeah, that's what I was saying. And it's hard to like know what's what.
Yeah.
Like even until it gets a little bit hard to know
Mm.
where like where to go. But it is like a little. Are you using a pencil or no?
Uh, because it's. I mean, the pencil helps, but like, if our eyes are gonna go, they're gonna go. Because, I mean, both you and I do
True.
not have great vision. I mean, I can because I have contacts, but I should start wearing my glasses.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I think I'm just
Jeez.
gonna do like the gray that's on this one side and then
Okay.
I might have to call it a night.
Okay.
But oh my god. Can you please come and thank you? You're great.
But I agree. I am super excited to see like how this show ends. Like, it's gonna be really strange for me because it's been in my life for so long and I've had like so much time to think about how it's going to like all wrap up and end, and then like Sunday it's all going to be over. There's going to be no more theories.
Mhm.
What is set in stone is set in stone, and that's going to be super strange.
Yeah, definitely. But also like maybe a bit of a relief because like,
Yeah.
at least it's done.
Yeah.
Like no stress.
People were arguing, like, you know how a few days ago we were talking about those edited videos of like the Game of Thrones cast say on season 8 for like 3 minutes straight.
Yep.
There are so many people that are like, it's obvious that the cast hates it too, and I'm like, you don't know that though.
All of those looks can easily be taken totally out of context. You're asking people who you know can't talk about something to comment on something, and you're taking their facial expression as truth.
Yeah.
And I don't think that that's fair, because when you can't talk about something and someone asks you about it, immediate face reaction is normal. Like, it doesn't matter who you are, because you know that you can't talk about it. They know you can't talk about it. So it's just like the immediate reaction is just like, here we go again. And people take that, oh, wow, they must really hate it.
Yeah.
It's just like, that's not what that means at all.
Because, like, and the security measures that HBO took to make sure that nothing got leaked, which that lasted for a whole 5 minutes.
True.
But like everybody was like had to be super careful this time around, and they really couldn't say anything. Like they didn't even get physical scripts.
Mm-hmm.
They got physical files that once the scene was filmed and wrapped, that part of the script got deleted. So
Oh, wow.
nobody could take screenshots or anything.
Wow.
So like what do you want them to say? Like
Mm-hmm.
do you want them to, you can't just be like, so how does Game of Thrones end? And then be like, well, why didn't you tell me?
Mm.
Like,
No, I totally agree with you. It's just like, you can't back someone into a corner and then take their facial reaction as a response when that facial reaction is like 3 seconds after you ask the question. And like,
yeah,
awkwardness about it is purely awkwardness because they cannot talk about it.
yeah,
You know what I mean? So it's just like, it's honestly probably one of my least favorite things about watching interviews with cast, because like, you back them into this corner. We all know it's coming because you're an interviewer, so you're gonna ask, and they're gonna say that they can't tell you anything.
yeah,
And then someone's gonna compile all of these friggin' facial movements, say and mark it as, oh, they hate it.
yeah.
And it's not true. It's not necessarily true.
My,
And
sorry,
it just bothers me. I get very emotional about it.
I do too. I feel you. My favorite part of like the whole interviews, though, my favorite people to watch get interviewed are Nikolai and Gwen, like when they're together, because they act like a married couple and it's hilarious. And also, Nikolai Coster-Waldau, like, if he does not like a character, like, he'll flat out tell you. Like, he'll be like, yeah, Danny, like, why root for her? All she wants is the Iron Throne. She wants to overthrow my family. That's been my family's throne for like a good while now. So like, why is everybody Team Danny? And nobody knows how to react to that. And you know how people spin that? Nikolai hates the show too.
Oh my god.
The show made Nikolai a millionaire 3 times over, so I don't think he hates it that much.
No, and I think that, like, I don't know. I love watching kids when they're, because I think that they play off each other so well, because like they've worked together for so long. It's just so nice to like watch. I don't really like, controversial opinion. I had more interviews I watch with Emilia Clarke, the less I like her.
Really?
Yeah. I was talking to my boyfriend about this the other day, and like, because I watched a video where it was like, how did it's Emilia Clarke? And I was like, sure, she's charming, whatever. But I understand maybe she's a nervous person, but I can't handle her looking at everything anyone ever says.
I can see that.
Because her laugh is like, I have a big loud laugh, okay? So I'm not here to tone your laugh down, Emilia Clarke. But I am here to say, like, tone your laugh down, Emilia Clarke.
Yeah.
Like, I think she's a brilliant actress. I think that she's come a long way with this show, no doubt.
Yeah.
I think that like I think that she's a beautiful person, and I'm not here to tell, like, you know, anybody what to do, but I just think the more that I watch her outside of acting, the more she kind of grates on my nerves a little.
Yeah, I can understand why.
And it's not, I'm not trying to attack her, you know, as a person. I'm really not. I just think that, like, I'm going to stick to watching her and not watching interviews with her. Because I watched this, like, video where it was like, Emilia Clarke tries 7 things she's never done before or whatever. And I was just laughing the whole time. And, like, I get it. It's probably awkward and funny, but just, I don't know, man. I can't justify it. I just, whenever I hear her laugh in my brain, I just get...
You hear the bells.
Yeah. So, like, yeah, I don't necessarily think that, like, it's not that I don't like her acting, I don't like her laugh, man, and she laughs just way too much.
Yeah. I can respect that. Like, I can, you know, I never really thought about it before, but you're not wrong. She does laugh quite a bit. And I mean, I have a lot of respect for everything that she has gone through. Like, I would have never guessed
for sure
that she went through 2 brain aneurysms while filming season 2 and 3 of Game of Thrones.
Yeah, no, definitely. And maybe that's where her just pure joy comes from.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I just can't handle that big laugh of hers.
Yeah.
So again, I'm not here to, you know, tell her how to live her life. I'm not here to tell everybody to hate her because her laugh bomb. I cannot.
Yeah, and I mean, like, she, like, it's like you said, she's really cute, and I'm sure that she is a very nice, kind individual. Like, she seems like she is genuinely a good person, and But sometimes you can be a good person, and you can also be mildly irritating sometimes.
Very true. Very true. In quick non-Game of Thrones news,
Mm-hmm.
I am about a third of the way through the beach. I'm really like it, actually. Not that I'm surprised.
Mm-hmm.
It's entertaining.
Yeah, it's really good, isn't it?
I mean, I got, like I said, only about through, so I imagine it's about to get crazy. But I'm here for it, so I just wanted to.
That's super exciting. Do you have a favorite character yet?
I think I can't remember his name because it's him. But the guy with the Game Boy.
Oh, Katie.
Yeah. I think he is my favorite.
I like him a lot too. I think if I had to pick a favorite beyond Richard, I would probably say my favorite is probably Francoise.
Yeah.
I like her a lot. I like her and Etienne a lot as well.
Yeah, I can see that. I think I know that it's a Lord of the Flies retelling. I can only imagine what's gonna go down. But I think once I get there and I finish it, my favorite characters might change. But now I think I don't really like Richard that much, despite him being a narrator.
He is slightly obnoxious. So
And he keeps dreams of Daffy guy.
Yeah.
I'm just like, dude, you're kind of going crazy.
Yeah, he's like whenever I read that book, I'm just like, Richard, like, you need to like lay off the weed. Like, because it's making you hallucinate that this man called Daffy Duck that you knew for a total of 5 seconds is like taking you on a wild ride.
Wrist point. Oh, so I guess I can tell you. I just got to the part where Zed, is it Zed?
Yeah.
And him are going on a rice run. And he just went under the gate and he ended up instead of on the outside.
Oh.
But I was going to keep listening, but then I got home from the library and I was tired and I didn't want to like not pay attention to it.
Yeah.
So I left it off at a really exciting part. So
That's good. Because I mean, I do think that it is one of those stories where you kind of have to pay attention to it.
Yeah.
Because it's very detail oriented. And if you don't like pay attention, you can miss a whole lot. And I feel like so much time passes in between, even just like half a page.
Yeah. You
That
have to pay attention to that.
That if you miss it, then you're like, wait, what just happened?
No, that's why I made the decision to just wait, and I might listen to it a little bit more tonight. But I just want to let you know that I'm really enjoying it. And I think Lord of the Flies as like a refresher on the story before reading it has really sort of like allowed me to pick up on some things that I think might happen, and it's really exciting.
Yeah, because I think Richard does kind of make a really good parallel for Ralph. I don't know if that's exactly what Alex Garland intended to do, but that's kind of like how I've always seen him. And if there was a piggy to the story, it would probably be Daffy.
Yeah. That's what I assumed.
Yeah.
So far. But I wasn't 100% sure.
Mm-hmm.
But now that you told me, I definitely like really see it. So, oh yeah, I guess I'll show you because I finished that light gray. So I'm just
Ooh.
I'm just
Really
packing
cool.
up my stuff now. You can of course continue if you want.
This is how far I got.
Oh, that looks
I
really good.
finished the row and then did this little section. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, so exciting. Oh no, look
Oh
at this.
no. Oh,
It's messy.
I haven't looked at my back in a while. Ooh. Ooh, that's not too bad. I mean, compared to how I started, it's
Oh yeah,
pretty
you're doing
neat.
a lot better. Are you tucking the string?
No, I'm tying a knot at the end because I'm a dirty cheater.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. See, I just lose parts of my string under here because I always forget to pull it all the way. I'm trying to
Oh,
remember to do that
yeah.
so that I stop just being a dummy. But
Sometimes it's hard to like remember that you need to like watch for that though, because like sometimes it's hard to like flip the hoop over to like check,
hmm
especially if you're trying to like pull the floss through
yeah,
and like not get it all like not make the tangle problem worse than it already is, you know?
yes, indeed. Oh, I thought I lost my needle for a second, but I was looking on the ends of the blue string, forgetting that I used gray.
Oh,
So we're good. Don't worry.
yay!
Okay. Um, are you good to be finished and we can do this again tomorrow or
Yeah, I'm good to be finished for now.
okay. I'm gonna try to maybe like watch this back, download it, maybe like edit it down a little bit,
Okay,
depending, but otherwise I might just post it.
okay,
So I'll let you know and I'll send you a link with whatever I end up doing.
okay.
Because I might unlist it before I post it, just so like if you wanted to see it or whatever
Hmm.
before I post it. But I don't really think it matters.
Yeah,
Um, I might just edit out the beginning where we were having
where
some
we were
technical
like, what is
difficulties.
going on?
Why am I in this thing twice? Um, so I might just cut that out and then post it, make it live. So
Okay.
all right. So I guess I'll talk to you
Yeah,
whenever.
you'll talk
But
to me on Boxer, but for our
see you
viewers,
tomorrow. All right. Bye.
bye.